Welcome back, everybody. In today's podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about fluoride. I want to give you my interpretation of where we have landed throughout my 30-year career as a health scientist, where we've landed so far in terms of fluoride. Is it bad for you? Does it lower IQ? Is it a neurotoxin? I want to talk a little bit about the discourse that has surrounded it over these past 30 years, where I feel we are today, and what you can do with that information. I'm going to give this all to you very quickly, but first I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe so you get more videos like this and you help the algorithm as well. Okay, so first, if you're uninitiated and you don't really understand a whole lot about fluoride, please keep in mind fluoride is not just something that you're getting in your toothpaste. That seems to be the kind of point of entry for most people to learn about fluoride, is that it's something they can get in their toothpaste. But the most common point of entry for fluoride is actually through your water. So if you think about how your day starts, a lot of us will wake up, we'll either drink a glass of water or a cup of coffee, right? And that coffee is often made with tap water that contains fluoride, or your glass of water is tap water. Then your shower or any kind of bathing that you're doing, even when you wash your hands, that tap water has got fluoride in it that is coming into your skin. And so you don't have to drink it, you don't have to brush your teeth with it. You're going to get it through your skin just by washing your hands and bathing. And not only when you clean off your food with tap water are you getting more fluoride into the food that way, but a lot of foods are already going to have tap water or I'm sorry, are already going to have fluoride to begin with. So you'll see this in nuts. You'll see it in seafood as well. You'll see it in a lot of different foods where, it's not just any water that they're exposed to, but any tap water that they're exposed to, but also the fact that these foods have some fluoride in them anyway. Now, let me explain just a little bit about what I've seen over these past 30 years that I've been in the health and wellness space. So, in the mid 1990s up until the early to mid 2000s or so, if you had said anything about fluoride being damaging to the body, people would just laugh. I mean, and keep in mind, back then, we also didn't have the whole world in the discourse like we do now with the way the internet has grown and social media is. But I would say the first 10 years of my career, from around 94 to probably mid 2000s, if you had said anything about fluoride being damaging to the body, you were just treated like garbage. I mean, you were laughed at. The medical world would mistreat you. And in general, I don't see that ever landing well for anybody back then. Now, from maybe 2005-ish to around 2015, that seemed to change a little bit. I think the internet helped that a lot because more studies that would normally just kind of be forgotten and just pushed aside would get more attention. People would say, "Hey, look at this study. What does this mean?" And so that led to more conversation about it. And now I'd say just over these past few years, we're really seeing more and more acceptance of the fact that, yeah, okay, it doesn't look like fluoride is good for you. Now, some of the studies that you can find, and you'll find these in the Journal of American Medical, and you'll find these in a lot of different clinical journals, you'll find studies on IQ being lessened and brain activity being lessened, and even sometimes performance, daily performance being lessened by fluoride intake. And generally, the more fluoride coming in, the more of an obstacle you're going to have to healthier thought, healthier brain function, and again to more, let's say, more natural IQ. And so some of the concerns there are mental mainly, but also, although it's not yet at a point where fluoride is being considered a neurotoxin outright, it has demonstrated characteristics and properties that are very neurotoxic in their behaviors and in nature. So, we're not yet full blown calling it a neurotoxin, but when you think about everything involved here, we're seeing neurotoxic properties. And at the same time, nobody's going to want to come right out and say, yes, fluoride's a huge problem because look, we've got fluoride everywhere we go. And so I think there's some reluctance for the public to fully embrace the fact that, yes, we've got the enemy living right here with us and getting into our bodies first thing in the morning and right up until we go to bed at night. It's kind of a scary thought, and I don't think too many people want to get behind that just yet. Now, one more thing I'll mention before I get into what you can do to be more preventive and to help purge the fluoride from your body. One more thing I'll mention is a recent study. It just came out in May of 2024. And this dealt with pregnant women and looking at the concentrations of fluoride that they had in their urine and therefore how much fluoride was in their bodies. And basically, the higher concentrations of fluoride that these pregnant women had, the more likely their children were to have neurobehavioral problems. Around age 3 is when they would see them. So, there's correlations here that are really scary. So you're probably thinking, okay, what can I do? Well, the first step, of course, is avoidance. Now, I know I said that it's pretty much everywhere and it's really hard to avoid, but that doesn't mean that you can't do at least a little bit of something. So, one thing you could do, for example, is set up a reverse osmosis system in your home. Unfortunately, you'd need to have one at really all of the different faucets, the one that you're showering in and your different sinks. But by employing reverse osmosis, which takes a little bit of time, but it's not terribly hard to do, if you do that, you can certainly greatly reduce your exposure by not having that coming through in your tap water. Please keep in mind, regular filtered water and regular filtration systems will not eliminate the fluoride. They'll just take out a few of the other chemicals. All right, so that's the first thing you can do is try to set up reverse osmosis or do something where you're just otherwise avoiding it, right? You're buying spring water instead of using tap water, and you're using, for example, a fluoride-free toothpaste and things like that. So that's the first thing you can do. Now, the other thing you can do is to make sure that your iodine levels are appropriate. Now, most people are really not iodine deficient. Some people are, but at least in North America, we don't really see much of that anymore. But regardless, make sure your iodine levels are appropriate, especially if you don't really eat a whole lot of seafood. Having the right iodine levels is going to help your body to better purge fluoride. So that's another thing you want to stay on top of is iodine. Now, in addition to iodine, zeolite. Now, this is a supplement that I do recommend. I'm going to put a link in the description to this video. It's from the National Institute of Health, I believe. And this actually talks about what zeolite can do to help purge more fluoride from your body as well. It's a simple supplement, and I do recommend it. So, in addition to all that, now let's talk about my one final point, and that's calcium. If your calcium levels are at all low, you're going to be at more risk of having more fluoride buildup in your body. So we need calcium anyway in the right doses, but make sure you're getting the right dose because this is one more reason why being shy in calcium can make fluoride more damaging to your body. So anyway, everybody, I hope this video has been helpful. Please give it a like and a subscribe if you'd like to get more videos like this in the future. Please also be sure to comment down below with your questions, your feedback, or any other video topics you'd like for me to cover. Please don't forget to check out the description. There's great information there. And if you do want to get my help directly, I'll have my website linked in the description as well as a few affiliate links to some products that I recommend. All right, everybody, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one, and looking forward to your health and happiness.